Today, I'd like to set out one question, involving two closely related concepts, that I will try to answer in 3 times. The concepts are clear: water, essential element for life on our planet, and information technology, a very necessary means to make this last. The question, concise and direct. Given the crucial challenge for the future in the water industry, how should we take advantage of the immense potential that IT offers us today? The Times intended to be as clear as possible, that is, putting the reader in context, indicating the problems, and trying to find solutions. To put the reader in context, we say that 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by water. Only 0.5% is fresh, and only about 0.75% is contained in groundwater, rivers, lakes, or dams. This small percentage is consumed unevenly. 70% goes to agriculture, 20% for industry, and only 10% to the supply and consumption of domestic use. Furthermore, living things are composed by 50 to 90% of water. Therefore, water is essential for life. What do we mean when we talk about IT? We're talking about different types of systems, as transaction processing systems, designed to ensure the control and traceability of input, processing, and output of information in key business processes. Business processes management systems, oriented to ensure optimal data and responsibility workflows during the path the information does within organizations. Business intelligence and analytical platforms that prepare the info in such a way it can be consumed conveniently by each role within organizations. Advanced analytic systems, always trying to take a look at a potential future to predict the effects of changes in operational and business decisions. Geographic information systems that visualize, manage, and analyze information under a spatial perspective. Customer relationship management systems, thought up to check that the crucial customer care process is executed with the maximum guarantee of success and satisfaction. Real-time systems that monitor any event that should be taken into account by the organization and operate their assets, taking control of remote devices. A statistical modeling that creates knowledge based on multiple scenario simulation applicable to different areas of the organization. The content management systems that take care of catalog, manage, and query huge volumes of documents inside the organization. And other systems that today are gaining prominence as augmented reality, virtual reality, and other disciplines that nowadays might seem more distant as 3D printing. And the water cycle. What do we mean when we talk about the cycle? Well, we mean the way in which we solve a simple equation. To make use of a resource with the help of some assets, providing a service that can meet the needs of our customers. There are multiple ways of representing the cycle. For us, the simplest is to start with the water collection and treatment, following with the production and storage, arriving to the distribution and transport when it has to be consumed, with the subsequent sewage collection and treatment before finally return to the receiving environment. All of this without forgetting key issues such as stormwater drainage, water consumption for irrigation, or environmental monitoring of the entire cycle. There are some key operational processes in any organization. The combination of these ones with the stages of the cycle can help us draw to the water business processes. These are the asset management, that, beyond providing a simple inventory of them, should maximize their life and optimize the investment. The operation and maintenance, focus on the daily reactive and planified field work to assure that everything works fine. Project management, that planning and make the proper follow-up of the correct way to run OPEX and CAPEX processes. The business cycle, key to ensuring the fair resource distribution and billing through a high-quality customer service. The measurement, that allows a company to quantify resource consumption whatever the way it's done. And the customer care processes, that always take care of the most valuable asset for a service company, its customer. The combination of the key aspects of the cycle and its processes produce multiple views of the same business processes. I'm sure in the sector each one has its own. Optimists draw an ideal future without problems. A future where energy will be free and clean thanks to the cold fusion and renewables. It will be like having the sun at home, where robots will be smart enough to be able to perform major engineering works easy and cheap. A world where we can desalinate water and bring it wherever it was necessary. A world without water problems. Sure? The truth is really other. There will be less and less available water due to its quality and quantity. More adverse events like droughts and floods will occur, and more severe. And there will be more and more people to supply and feed. This is why many people is already talking about water crisis. Something to be worried about is the fact that the World Economic Forum mentioned the water crisis as the world's largest social problem in terms of impact in their 2015 report. The availability and quality of a precious resource like water are key factors to the future of the planet. We need to know that water stress or the inability to meet demand due to different factors will increasingly affect the developed world over the next decades. Today, it is estimated that 80% of Europe's population lives in countries with this pressing problem. In 2025, global demand for water will exceed available water resource by 56%. But in the following years, is it going to be a better situation? No. The World Resource Institute notes that in 2040, among the most affected, we are going to find the world's major economies like the US, China, or India. Cases like Chile could be dramatic. From a mid-average street ratio, they will easily reach the maximum as a result of rising temperatures and changes in precipitation patterns. And Spain, they don't have to sleep peacefully. The ranking puts them in position 32, with a worrying 4.07 points out of 5 on the scale of stress. But the ranking clearly shows that the Middle East will suffer the worst. We are all aware that water has caused and will cause wars, something that does not benefit at all to an unstable area with an open war in Syria or an eternal conflict between Israel and Palestine. Let us keep in mind. Down to a local level, we also have a serious problem with our assets. Welcome to the replacement era. Thousands and kilometers of buried pipes are arriving to the end of its useful life. To face properly this tremendous challenge, the American Water Works Association is estimating an investment of $1 trillion over the next 25 years. If we don't do nothing, the number of water leakage, 250,000 only in the US, will continue to increase annually with the consequent deterioration of water services quality and the misuse of funds to pay more repairing than replacing. How this huge investment is going to be found? Who is going to pay the party? Who is going to manage CAPEX and OPEX? Increasing the typical family's water bill as usual. In some areas, mostly depending on the community size, this can triple easily the impact of water bills on the shopping basket. Last but not lower, we need to focus on the problem of talent retention and collection. This means how to face the knowledge retention from an aging workforce and the difficulty to finding qualified people to cover IT and engineering areas. How to meet the needs of the industry we'll have to deal with. How to meet the new needs the industry will have to deal with. Facing this worrying scenario, the question is obvious. Is the water industry ready for this? Unfortunately, there is no one ideal solution. Nevertheless, there are good approach if we do things correctly. We must definitely make a more current, rational and sustainable water use, but this only will succeed relying on the best available technologies. My proposal is based on a simple process. Collect as much information as we can. Transform these data into reliable and accurate knowledge, bringing this power to those who should take decisions in the shortest time possible at a reasonable cost. From this point forward, I would like to outline several keys oriented to help water utilities to achieve the implementation of this simple process successfully. My 2 cents worth in just 10 points. First, is it important to be connected? Is it important to be aware of the Internet of Things evolution or how 50 billion devices are going to be connected in 2020? The IoT is the natural evolution of SCADA. From the old paradigm of implement with PLCs acquired with the SCADA and consolidate with the business intelligence, we're going towards the sensorization, ingestion, and analysis. The industry must take advantage of this wave to achieve a maximum sensorization at the lowest cost. We must go a step forward than nowadays and think not only in the network and the plants. We must see our clients, the entire web, social networks, open data, and other information as an input. The industry should take advantage of their assets and their relationship with customers in order to understand well the environment and act consequently. Remote sensing could be a new and valuable input for IoT, a more than a science easily applicable to agriculture, biodiversity, logistics, or health and safety. For us, it's a technology that nowadays can be extended to any airborne sensor, even the drones, so fashionable today. There is a large space for improvement in water for industrial use. This can and must be monitored correctly right away by remote metering. It is also an obligation for large consumers to monitorize, analyze, and act on their consumption pattern. Smart metering makes sense nowadays because it helps in the billing process, because it helps customers with notices, because it's a valuable tool to help customers with recommendations, because it helps optimize with patterns, because it helps to convey trust and an innovative vision of the company to the customers, because it's a firm commitment with the future, because is it already possible, and what the hell, because it's cool. However, the smart metering, as we currently conceive it, only gives the big point of a water service. Maybe it's time to enter in the customer house and get detailed information about their usage. The main objective should be understand how they are consuming to make the most sustainable and custom-made recommendations. And all of this, keeping in mind that if we want to talk about a real IoT solution, we should contemplate a proper database management, a proper information management, a proper analytics application on data, a proper integration mechanisms, mainly via APIs, and a proper security for the entire solution. The focus here is having a well-defined strategy for data collection automation and set a credible horizon for its implementation, taking into account the state of the art in the market. Beware of being unrealistic. Another key aspect is to create knowledge from data. We want to address here at big data or the ability to decoding the human genome in 7 days. It took 10 years to do so. Analyzing more than 30 petabytes of user data. Facebook store, for instance, respond more than 2 million queries in a minute, as Google does. Or monitor the 10 terabytes that generates a fly computer every 30 minutes. To do this, keep in mind that every day 2.5 quintillion bytes of data are generated. Every minute, people send 100,000 tweets, or simply that 90% of global data have been generated in the last 2 years. From data to knowledge, path that all companies should be clear about. With big data, they nowadays can answer complex questions, rethink or create new business processes, and customize their products and services. If they don't do it yet, they're losing a lot of money and opportunities. It's necessary to evolve to make the right decisions. From in this information management, companies should progressively evolve to a true optimization. From the obvious analysis on what happened, companies should go towards forecasting and question, how can I make that not happen again? It is a path that brings more value but implies a greater difficulty. The old demand for the traditional modeling applied to large data volumes, now it's possible. We can face complex calculations like obtain a precise pattern of consumption for each individual customer, get a more effective water demand forecasting, detect fraud or anomalous consumptions, access to a reliable analysis of our large customers, play with the smart event detection and management or leaks, refine or rata data validation, estimation and addition mechanism, calculate all the water balances, and many more. It seems like big data offer starts to be strong enough and credible. It is no longer a pipe dream. The velocity and volume are key to smart metering. Variety is key to take better operational decisions, and currently there is a real value from their implementation. It is highly recommendable to go to the market and take a look, but be careful and don't get sick. The offering is very wide and diverse. The focus here is have a deep knowledge of the problems you need to solve, which are the kind of decisions you need to take, always aligning the data collection strategy with the data processing capacity required. Beware of being greedy. Important: all the knowledge generated has to be correctly applied. The data analytics world is suffering a boom in recent years. From traditional business intelligence that analyzes the past, we're turning to business analytics that tries to advance to the future. From reporting, we're changing to self-consumption. From look and find, we're arriving to discover. Today, it is possible to obtain real value from the application of a 360 degrees vision to the water business. Today, we can work with multiple insights offered by a huge volume of collected and processed data without direct trying. The analysis must be covered from the overall view of processes through indicators and trends. We talk of different kinds of analysis, focus on consumption, billing, customer satisfaction, service level agreement compliance, meter deployment, maintenance projects, or investment. Companies should cover the comparative analysis of the main indicators between business units and equivalent organizational elements. They must also cover segmentation based on profiling and pattern analysis using different criteria. This is a case of types of customers or meters. Companies also need to cover the prediction of future events and the information they'll need based on its previous knowledge. So, we need to be aware of water demand forecasting, the customer default rate, the flow rate, or the billing cycle closure forecasting. The simulation and recommendation should be covered also by means of a proper process modelization. We are referring here to the water bill simulation, the elaboration of a predictive maintenance plan, or the customer contact recommendation, when and how to do it. It's time to discover the water business. It's time to offer knowledge to take decisions in a visual and interactive way. The focus here is have in mind how you want to measure the business processes, choose the right metrics and indicators, and define a global vision of the entire water service that combines warranty service, operational matters, and business cycle. Beware of don't see the forest. We must never forget to be integrated. Integration is what everybody wants and few companies rarely get. Much time and money buried in integration systems that never work properly. My proposal goes to build platforms, not bridges between isolated systems. At this point, we must differentiate between systems integration and integration platform. The first draws a scenario where the information systems are connected through projects and the data travel constantly from one place to another to be calculated or simply visualized. This strategy can easily become a nightmare trying to maintain a rat's nest. The second is aimed to provide rich environments with applications and services available that could represent a good foundation to support the organization's business processes. Only in this way, companies will be enabled to work with different views, technical, commercial, and organizational. Only in this way, companies will be enabled to work with cross processes and execute real 360 degrees analysis. The information architecture, designed as a data model, is responsible for properly connect these worlds, either at lateral server, service connection, at site level, organization, or at customer level, contract. With a proper integration, we get the correct vision that improves processes. If we combine the real-time network operation, the customer care call center, the geographic intelligence, and the process modeling, we can get a better management and response during critical events. The software as a platform is a reality. Now we can find a decent offering. All large software vendors are considering to go for this model based on interoperability. It's worth to rethink the IT strategy to build systems using these platforms and avoid constant overruns. It's worth thinking about the gradual migration or legacy systems to obtain quick and obvious advantage. The focus here is on define or redefine an IT strategy based on platforms, analyzing in parallel the current and future technological proposal of the most visionary manufacturers. Beware of being immobile and believe that my integrations will always run. Combining correctly the technology is an essential aspect. It's the Bowman law. Combine the ingredients properly to succeed. Every need or business process has the right combination of technology. Now we are going to propose the magic formula with some approximate proportions of amount of technology for each main process. As always, this amount has to be adjusted according to everybody's liking. In plans operation always wins the real-time and transactionality, represented by the asset management, a good ERP, or laboratory information management system. In network operation, the weight is shared equally. We must give the weight it deserves to transactionality next to real-time modeling and GIS. In asset management, it's more or less the same, increasing the weight of analytics and decreasing real-time. In works and interventions process, the transactional systems, order management and project management, are the key to success, together with the proper use of analytic platforms and GIS. In the measurement process, there's no choice. Real-time analytics are crucial. In the customer side, we play all to three cards: a good transactional system, customer information and billing system, a good CRM, and a good analytics. In the crisis management process, the weight is equally distributed between business process management systems, analytics, GIS, and content management, and always season it with a good pinch of consulting. The focus here is on look beyond the immediate need, always ensuring the essentials, avoiding fall short just with the pure transactionality. Beware of being unambitious. We have to be geo. The web mapping should be represented in the water utility IT ecosystem and also the traditional GIS. 90% of the data managed by a water utility can be represented on a map. Maybe we don't need to visualize all of them, only the majority. And maybe we don't need them with an absolute accuracy, only the necessary. Asset management is meaningless with knowing the correct location of them. Measuring improves dramatically with the application of geographical intelligence, and complete analysis of consumption and billing is only possible if we consider the spatial distribution. If we don't apply geoscience, we are not going to achieve a real efficiency in operations. We're talking about calculating advanced routes with multiple crews and multiple locations, about logistics, seeking the right combination of space and time, about intelligent dispatching, finding the closer and optimal resource allocation for an event, or about maintenance plans automatically proposed from selected assets. Moreover, the simulation of maintenance works or leakage should not be a desire, it has to be an obligation, for example, to calculate automatically the connections affected by a leak. Geocoding is the key to a successful global management of the location. Unification and homogenization of postal address inputs is crucial to the location of a connection point, a metering asset, or an event associated to an asset. The geographic intelligence, geoprocessing, must be combined with advanced analytics and big data to improve operations at customer care. If we take the map of customer satisfaction, the map of risk and criticality of our assets, and the map of network conditions, we can get the investment prioritization map. On the other hand, geographic intelligence must be integrated with the hydraulic modeling from minute zero. The benefits are obvious. It eliminates the need for a continuous upgrades in a separate databases, saves a lot of money in the data collection and pre-treatment phase, providing at the same time more info for modelists, and provides a new fully functional and integrated environment where the model results can be easily consumed. Finally, we must not forget some technological pills close to the 100% feasible and operational for water utilities. We are talking about geofencing, location-based alarms, augmented reality, maybe too early to take advantage of that, and 3D, coming shyly to stay as a standard in the midterm. The focus here is on build a geo layer based on the needs identified on GIS and web mapping and ensure the quality and integrity of data, avoiding an excessive detail. Beware of staying in the traditional GIS. And now perhaps the most obvious point of all, we have to be mobile. A proper use and deployment of enterprise mobility is not negotiable. It is an obligation to be efficient and sustainable. The objective of a company should be to be able to take the right decisions anywhere with any device. No more paper, please. Companies should think in real mobility, not in desktop apps forced to run on mobile devices. That means giving up in most cases to an excessive completeness with external assistance, access to absolutely everything in the field, ultra-fast data shares, or at least fast, or launching complex processes on a mobile phone. Mobility means in many cases a deep reviewing in fieldwork processes. A proper mobility implementation means many hours talking to end users. Here, supervisors and blue collars are key. Poor mobility is counterproductive. Mobility for fieldwork and operations is a mature industry that is turning gradually from industrial terminals to commercial devices. A mobile strategy based on these terminals is absolutely recommendable today. The mobility for plant operation is another story. Any decision about mobility implementation must have into account some relevant aspects like the offline work, very important for the water utility in solving many different ways. Geo-integration, fast access to assets and routes is essential for field workers. Legal aspects, third-party and blue-collar signature, health and safety. All the info has to be accessible to ensure these aspects, and online support, the possibility to ask an expert at any time. Mobility for supervision and control is necessary. We're talking about push events and alarms, historical data to understand the context, and operation capabilities to start and follow up the actions. Mobility for the management layer is desirable. KPIs evolution, access to operational dashboards, or simply shared info with the operators. Mobility is essential for the customer. My water bills, contracting, recommendations, notice, compliance, payment, and a true virtual office. Here the focus is on a good analysis and design of processes where the mobility can be applied and just build simple and effective apps, and once they run properly, connect them to the entire organization. Beware of biting off more than can you chew. Another key aspect is to share. The aim of any water company is or should be to achieve maximum transparency for the regulator and the citizen. To do that, we must essentially share, and our information system should be prepared and oriented for it. Giving information should not be a tedious and expensive job. The goal is to create customizable services that allows us to publish information and different capabilities to interact with. Welcome to the APA's world. What is an APA? An application programming interface. Technically, a set of functions and procedures offered by a library for use by another software as an abstraction layer. Plainly, an application that makes it easier for other companies or organizations to connect to your systems and use your data quickly and easily. Why an APA? To expand and generate more business without investment. To meet regulatory transparency commitments. To reduce the cost of develop, integrations and applications. To reduce the cost of system maintenance. To reduce the complexity of systems and the chances of failure. To securize the access to your systems. To promote the building of multidisciplinary systems. To promote the knowledge generation. To be honest with customers and citizens. With APAs, we can help to achieve a common goal, the smarter city. With them, we can contribute to the Open Data Initiative. By opting for the own development, companies should consider to build their own APAs. By choosing software market products, companies must decide the purchase considering this capacity. Here the focus is on building or buying software, keeping in mind to share the information, the reputation and money are at stake, and always participating in initiatives that promote knowledge generation. Our organization has to be user-centered. There is a huge offer of information systems outside for water utilities. Whether you decide to build or buy software, the options are almost limitless. The key again is a good IT strategy definition. Software products must be perfectly aligned with the needs of our users. 9 of 10 information system projects fail because the expectations are not well managed. So, before launching, it is worth to do an introspective exercise. Analysis of user experience (UX) is key to selecting products to purchase or develop. Without UX, there is only failure and unnecessary investment. Very few companies do a real UX analysis. Managers and technical staff decide usually what to do. For companies, it's important to ask the right questions. Do you really are meeting the user needs? Are these needs being correctly prioritized? Or the organization is simply designing on the same acquired bad habits? Are we counting on them to take the decision? How is this decision can affect company business processes? Is there enough margin for improvement or evolution of these processes? Ask, and ask. Those who will use these tools have to be at the center of all. Assimilate, process, and decide. Those who will decide must do it using the information, balancing what is feasible, what is desirable, and what is viable. Here, an important message for suppliers. It's important to make a good target segmentation. If not, the products won't have a space in the water utilities market. Keep in mind that not all water companies need the same. Small ones want to concentrate the data in a single easy tool. Medium ones want to successfully run all the operational processes, and large ones just want to improve and optimize constantly. Here, the focus is on apply a user experience process before deciding important software issues and put the user always in the center prior to the managers. Beware of considering all settled. All these topics are nonsense if you don't exploit your talent. There are several key roles related to the design, build, implementation, monitoring, and maintenance of a successful IT strategy. We're not going to discuss here how they should be organized or what should be the relationship between them. The important thing here is to sponsor a gig. Someone in the organization has to understand what lies behind this presentation. Someone must understand how to land it and make it work for the benefit of the organization. Someone must have the ability to translate between the technical language and the language of business. There's a huge amount of consultants outside who know very good just a piece of the film, but they don't have the whole vision of the business. It's important that someone with enough technological knowledge leaves the IT inside the core of the business. You geek should keeping up with the evolution of technology, getting involved in the IT strategy definition, defining the roadmap, entering to the appropriate level of detail, leading a team of people able to build software, leading the selection of products, platforms, and technologies, serving as a lure to attract more talent, being proactive and highly productive to ensure the success of the strategy, and not eating or waiting later than 12 p.m. If, as ever, all talented people are in Silicon Valley, we will have to get a move on to find one. If, as what the well-informed people say, the IT future will be for the freelancers, we should explore that option as soon as possible. Here the focus is on open our minds and our organizations to geek profiles. Don't be impatient and don't give up until finding the right people. Beware of not understanding the IT reality. Finally, last appeal. The water industry have to jump into the cloud and doing it, monitoring the security of their systems. Don't take too much time, you're already late.